He won football's biggest individual prize when he was 21 years old. 21! Younger than most players who are still sitting on a bench somewhere waiting for a debut. That was 1997. It's now 2026. 29 years have passed, and nobody, not Messi, not Cristiano Ronaldo, not Mbappe, not anyone, has ever won the Ballon d'Or younger than he did. Not one player in almost 3 decades has managed it. This is Ronaldo Nazário, the original Ronaldo, the Brazilian they called the Phenomenon. And this is the story of the fastest rise football has ever seen. If you love records that simply refuse to fall, subscribe, because to break this one, you'd have to be the best player on the entire planet before you're old enough to have a career. Let's start with what he was. He debuted for Cruzeiro in Brazil at 16. 16! And a few months later, he scored 5 goals. 5 in a single match. He scored 44 goals in 47 games as a teenager. Europe came running. At 17, he was in Brazil's World Cup squad. At 18, he moved to the Netherlands and scored 30 goals in his first season. And then, at 19, Barcelona paid a world record fee for him, the most expensive player on earth, as a teenager. What happened next was one of the most absurd seasons any striker has ever played. 47 goals in 49 games. He was 20 years old. And it wasn't just how many, it was how. He would collect the ball in his own half, run through an entire team like they were standing still, and finish with total calm. Power and speed and grace all in one body. Defenders didn't just fail to stop him, they looked like they were playing a different sport. There's one goal against Compostela where he beats what feels like half the team on a solo run. His own manager, Bobby Robson, stood on the touchline holding his head in disbelief. Then, Barcelona lost him. Inter Milan triggered his release clause and paid another world record fee. And that made him the first player since Diego Maradona to break the world transfer record twice. And he did it before he turned 21. And in 1997, at 21 years old, he won the Ballon d'Or, the youngest winner in the history of the award, then and now. Look at what that record has survived. Messi didn't win his first until he was 22. Cristiano Ronaldo was 23. Kylian Mbappe, one of the most gifted young players ever, still hasn't taken it. 2 of the greatest careers in football history came along after, and neither of them did it faster. Because here's what nobody talks about. This isn't really a record about talent, it's a record about timing. To beat it, you don't just have to become the best player alive, you have to become the best player alive before you turn 21 and get the entire football world to admit it out loud on a ballot. Modern football almost makes it impossible. Young players are protected now, managed, rotated, given time. Ronaldo had none of that. He was thrown into the fire at 16 and simply refused to burn. And there's a cruel shadow behind all of it. That explosive, unplayable body he had at 20, it didn't last. The knees gave out. 2 horrific injuries stole nearly 3 years of his prime. He came back, and he came back magnificently. He won the World Cup in 2002 and took the Ballon d'Or all over again. But the player from 1997, the one who moved like nothing anyone had seen, that version was gone forever. So we're left with something strange. We got the greatest young footballer in history, and we only got to watch him at full power for about 3 seasons. 29 years later, his record still stands. And honestly, look at how the game works now, and ask yourself, is it ever really going to fall? So here's the question worth arguing about. Was Ronaldo the greatest teenage talent football has ever produced? Or has someone since burned brighter? Be honest, tell me below. Subscribe for more. Because he did everything before anyone else was even ready to start. And a record like that? It's untouchable.